we are ready to go. We've got the 1992 pre-season show, and in the background you can see the new point system on quite possibly the worst graphic you'll ever see, but let's get straight in to what happened on today's session. Now the Williams, they were out of the garage lively, looking fast, looking sweet. They've got a brand new team member in their ranks, but it was Mansell who took the car out for the first spin of the day, and he said he immediately, after 1 or 2 laps, could feel a massive difference in comparison to previous year's car that he massively struggled with. We saw that his teammate Game of last season won the World Championship, but it will be Mansell partnering Ayrton Senna in the Williams, and now 17 wins for Mansell and 30 and a World Championship that Senna brings to the McLaren team. No, the Williams team. We may be getting that wrong a few times this year, but that would be the lineup for potentially the favourites for the 1992 World Championship. Now, World Champion Game has found a new home, and with a 2-year deal, he'll be a bit more relaxed, knowing that he's got a bit more of a future in the sport. But you'd like to think he would be being the current world champion, but he is out testing his new McLaren. And he said it feels completely different to the Williams of last year. It will take a little bit of time to get used to, but he spent a lot of laps this morning familiarising himself with the car, and no push laps just yet, but he joins Gerhard Berger, who is also a world champion, and with 15 wins to Game's 5, you could argue way more experienced as well. He is way more experienced, there's just no denying that. But it'll be interesting to see who can become the team leader. Will Gerhard Berger think that he can finally become McLaren's top dog now that Senna has left, or will the newly crowned world champion have something very different to say about that? Ferrari out of the pits and raring to go. Alesi says without poor luck early on in the season last year, he could have and probably should have been the 1991 Formula One World Champion, but big news, big news. He's got a new teammate this year after the departing and retiring Alain Prost. He will be partnered by Alessandro Nannini from the Benetton team, and Nannini was over the moon. 3 wins for Alesi, all coming last year, and 2 for Nannini. It's a very underexperienced Ferrari lineup, but that's something that they're not used to, but it could propel them into something very good. Struggled with the car early morning. Ferrari know they've got a fair bit of work to do. A big upgrade, they say, will not be ready until the San Marino Grand Prix of round 3, but they will do the best they can until then. Benetton with an all-new lineup this season, and it was Michael Schumacher who left the garage first in his brand new car. He said he is over the moon to have joined Benetton. Benetton, a real serious force within Formula One now. They are climbing the ranks, they are getting better each season, and they've got a driver lineup they believe will help them become double world champions. But neither have won a race. But it's Schumacher and Martin Brundle who will take the helm for the 1992 World Championship season. But a few little errors there, as you can see in the background, as Schumacher familiarises himself with the car. He says the car is fantastic, but it won't really be any representative times early doors as they go for long runs. But he said looking for his first Grand Prix victory when he was asked this season. Don't think Benetton will be challenging for the championship just yet. Tyrrell emerged from the garage, which was very up and down winter. We didn't know if they were going to be on the grid. They've got some funding together and a few sponsors on the side of the car. And immediately they said they are glad they got to the track because the car felt great, a little bit underpowered from the Yamaha engine, but that's probably to be more over-exaggerated at a track like this. But it's De Cesaris and Groulard who will take the realm for the Tyrrell team, and it will be surprising. I don't think they'll get back to how they were in days gone by, but they definitely think with the right funding and with more money coming into the sport that it's definitely something they can propel themselves up the field. But let's see how that plays out. The Footwork Arrows team has emerged from the garage looking fresh and crisp in their strikingly lovely livery. It's very similar to last year, but if it's not broke, don't fix it. But there's not a huge amount of sponsorship on there. But it'll be Suzuki and Alboreto, who is really prolonging his Formula One career here. And yeah, we'll see. They don't expect too much this year. They are looking for a buyer, however, so if you're interested, they are up for sale. But we'll see how this season plays out for the Arrows Footwork team. Jordan emerged without their 7-Up livery, which was a massive, massive surprise, considering everyone adored the livery. But they've got an okay livery for this season, but I don't think they'll mind with Modena and Bertrand Gachot, who was absolutely fantastic last year. Didn't get the plaudits compared to his teammate Michael Schumacher, but he quietly went around his business, and he is hoping to become the team leader de facto, really. And will Jordan be able to progress from their incredible debut season? We'll have to see. Ligier have left the garage this time for the first time under Peugeot power. Now, they had a few niggles early on in the session and in the garage as they left the track very early on in the morning. But they said to be expected. Peugeot want the car to break down. They want the engine to explode. They need to learn. But it's Thierry Boutsen and Comas who keep their places from last season. Boutsen with his 3 Grand Prix victories and extensive knowledge of Formula One. Peugeot think that will be vital to them climbing their way up the grid. But they know it's a long process, and they are hoping to not over-expect, but work hard and see what happens. But it might be a long old season for the Peugeot Ligier team. Minardi, Audi leave the garage, and please ignore the livery because the owner of this series could not work out how to implement that livery into the game, so just pretend there's red on it. However, Morbidelli and Martini will partner together to propel Minardi into a brand new era of Formula One. And Audi started strong. They didn't have very many issues. They said it was a little bit underpowered, but they'll work towards a big fix. Again, ignore the livery. I know it says Lamborghini, but they'll be looking forward to the year ahead and to see what can come out of it. Lotus leave the garage with a strikingly aggressive livery, maybe to cover up the lack of sponsorship they have on the car. But, well, you say lack of sponsorship, there's a fair amount on there, but it's an incredible lineup of Mika Hakkinen and Johnny Herbert. And Mika Hakkinen tipped for a big seat in the not-so-distant future, and if he can carry on having a great season, like he did last year, we'll have to see how that plays out. But it could be an interesting year for the Lotus team, who are on their arse, as their owner said. Leighton House, who, again, another struggling team. Formula One really sorted itself out here. But it's bare. It's very bare. They are on their knees. And they are begging for mercy. And they had a fairly decent morning. The car worked, which is, owner said that actually that was a bit of a surprise to them. That they expected the car to break down a fair amount. But they've got Belmondo and Wenglinger, who are admittedly paid drivers. But they need all the money they can get. But they could turn it around, but it's looking bleak for the March. And that's the end of our pre-season show for the 1992 season. We are not too far away from the start, where we stories, there'll be big drives, there'll be Senna versus Mansell, Game versus Berger. Can Williams dominate like everyone thinks they will, or will Ferrari with their brand new driver, Nannini, be able to step up to the mark? But who's going to be crowned champion? And when will that start? It will start in South Africa. Bye-bye.